So I'm still in Alabama. Ted had to work a half a day today. So he got up at 0 dark 30 in the morning. I do mean 0 dark 30 in the morning. He gets up at 3:16 or 3:17. That's right. He's kind of like me. We don't ever usually set our alarm clocks to like on the 5 minutes. We're just odd like that. But he had to go to work for half a day, and he's going to be back around 2 or something like that. And then he's going to take a look at my brakes, which the other day when I had Alex and Shiloh in here, the brakes were acting kind of, well, I had like a shimmy in the front, and the kids used to be a mechanic, Alex, so that kind of worked out pretty cool. And he said the ball joints and tie rods, everything is fine, you know, it looks solid, but he said that it was a possibility that a rotor was slightly warped, or that I had a brake pad that kind of slipped and did something funny. But Ted is a mechanic, like literally. This guy has built race cars, and that leads me to Ted is like in the perfect place. He's on a really close to a little corner lot of 2 little teeny streets out in the middle of nowhere. He's got a little gas station and a convenience store, kitty corner from him, or caddy corner from him, as they might say down here. But he has a big 2-car garage, like big garage, that he can work on cars. And when I worked with him at Flexonics years ago, he was always doing government jobs, we used to call them, where he was working on car stuff, and now he just machines everything. It's like perfect. So he's out in the perfect area for him, for what he likes to do. So right now I am about to cross the Tennessee border. Don't worry, I'm going back to Ted's, but I am so far north in Alabama that it's like my GPS is showing that I'm going to be crossing the state line like any second here, which is pretty wild. There's one town called Ardmore that is actually in 2 states and in 4 counties. Nice. That's confusing. Wouldn't want to be a mailman there. Well, it looks like, although there aren't any signs saying welcome to Tennessee, my GPS has me crossing the border right here. So I am in Tennessee. That's pretty funny. Down in Florida with a concealed carry, I could carry my weapon anytime I wanted to. You know, within reason. I couldn't go into a courthouse, police station, that sort of thing. Place where they serve alcohol, even though I don't drink. But when you're on state line road, that must be it. Okay, so when you're in other states, you have to get a heads up on who's okay with your concealed carry, because Florida has reciprocity with I believe 25 or 30 other states. But Georgia was one, I went through that. Alabama is one, I went through that. Kentucky and Tennessee are both very gun friendly. So, but anyway, that is it for right now, and maybe we'll get some more video later when Ted gets back and we're working on a car, or maybe I'll find something up here and get some shots. So anyway, Ted's at work, and I decided to cruise around and find a few places, like this place it's called the Blue Waters something or other park. And look what we got. Park closed. Locked up tighter than a drum. Oh, and way up there it says no firearms allowed. So I guess that's good. So I don't know if I can just walk through over here and get pictures of the lake and get arrested. I mean, it's not anybody here. You know, I was thinking here when I look around, when I park my van, I'm looking around, and this could be one of those places on the road where I could crash, just pull over, park, and probably not get bothered. So much for that park. Do have a couple little streams here. Wouldn't think this is good water to drink, but you can boil the stuff and it would be fine. Only wildlife I see is little teeny fish. Little teeny fish, man. Hey, I will say one thing. When I was sitting out on Ted's porch yesterday. I saw a couple robins. I know. Robins are the first sign of spring, and you guys probably seen them up north, but I haven't seen a robin in 3 years. Because they do not have robins down in Florida. However, they do have cardinals and blue jays. So if you're missing any of those, we probably had them. Little ways from the street, from pine trees, no palm trees. I've noticed that. I see no palm trees anymore. That's a wonderful thing. That's a wonderful thing. I'm going to take a chance and go walk out there by that lake to take some pictures. Wish me luck. Well, that was definitely not worth the wait. I'm thinking this isn't even a park. I mean, you can go fishing here, maybe. I'm thinking it's a water treatment center. Actually, I think I know what it is. They have, looks like they have a sports complex up there. So it just may be a place where they have baseball games, football games, that sort of thing. I do want to make mention of one thing that I noticed here. This tree that I'm walking up to that has the flowers. I'm not an arborist. I don't know my flora or fauna all that well. But these little guys here, you walk up to this tree and it does smell really nice. So that's pretty cool. Alright, well, I guess I'll go find something else to check out and take pictures of, because it sure ain't here. Yes, tobacco is not spelled correctly. But they have 4 or 5 of these signs hanging out all over this gas station slash truck stop slash whatever. So I'm thinking that either somebody didn't notice or they said, oh fuck it, we have too many signs, let's just put them out. Nobody's gonna notice anyhow. Here's your sign. Well, I was gonna try to find another park that was up in Huntsville, but apparently on GPS they just name all these parks. Name all these things parks when they're really just baseball fields for kids and stuff. Okay, so what we have up here, we have my car top carrier that doesn't have a whole lot in it, and it basically has 2 straps on either corner, so it's 8 straps all together that are holding it down, and then I have another one on there. I had 2 on there, but the other one loosened up, but I think it'll be fine. I mean, we got 8 or 9 straps. That should be more than sufficient. Now, you can see, this is kind of a disaster yet. This over here, gosh, that's hard to see. This right here is my curtain, and some of the Velcro is coming off. So I'm going to have to do a quick repair with some crazy glue. That'll be fine. Kind of funny, when I was 18 years old, Ted was 19. I used to hang around with him sometimes, and we'd have that hippie type music playing. So in the house right now, Do You Feel Like We Do? That was an anthem for my generation, man. That's playing on the cable TV. And I'm just sitting out here checking out the very slow road, sitting on the porch, having a cup of coffee. You don't get too many vehicles down here. When you do, they're all pick 'em up trucks. Not a bad area to live in, but I don't know. I think I need to be a little bit further north. Down here, there are some wood boring bees, is what Ted calls them. They are bigger than bumblebees, or at least that size. Some of them are bigger. I had one in my car when I was about 3 or 4 miles from Ted's. I was like, oh shit. And I had to open the passenger window and it flew out. But he tells me, he's pretty sure anyway, that they do not actually sting. That they just bore into, like, the wood in the top of his porch, and they will actually leave holes, and you can see all the sawdust. I don't know if you can see it. Maybe you can see some, but they leave the sawdust from when they are boring through. Well, he was just bothering him that he didn't know for sure if they stung or not, because we just shot some wasp spray up and chased a bunch of them out of their holes. But he's going on Wikipedia right now to look them up. Let me see if I can show you this one. Oh yeah, here it is. I wish this had a macro lens. This is the banister, or the pole, and there is a hole that you can see, and that is the bee. He sprayed some up in there, it didn't take too long, and it was dead. That thing is about as big as my first knuckle on my index finger, but they dig holes. They bore holes and they spew out all the sawdust, and it gets wet, and it just looks like something shit on there, but interesting. He's gonna look them up to see if they bite. I could take a close look at this thing and see if it even has like a stinger, but I don't know. This is one of the bees, that one that was down there, and Ted looked it up. And so what did it say about these things?
It's a male, or excuse me, this is a female wood boring bee. The male does not sting. The female digs holes in your houses, and that's where they lay their eggs, and where they actually spend the winter. The eggs will spend the winter.
Sounds a lot like humans. The men don't sting, the women bore their way into... I'm sorry, was that out loud? I think it was. So we're playing with the blowgun. Those are my 2 shots so far. We are about this far away. Uh-oh. Oh, it went there? It hit the ground.
It must have fell out.
At least they're orange. You can see them.
Okay, let's try this again.
I was actually surprised at my 2 shots, so...
Oops, I broke another one, dude.
Well, note to self, maybe I need to put a drop of crazy glue in each one of these. I think what it is, you have more wind power than me, because you don't smoke.
Oops, man, I'm breaking these things. I'm sorry.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, they're gone.
So if you smoke like I do, you can't get as much oomph on it, and you'll wind up getting this where they go in. But if you don't smoke, like Ted hasn't for like 20 years, then you can actually shoot these right through. So that's good to know, because I lost 3, but I learned a valuable lesson. I could take some crazy glue, which I have, put it in there to make sure that they're all good to go, and we're great. It's not like I don't have enough darts, okay? I have like 4 quivers. Isn't quiver a funny word? But I have all these different darts on there, so I'm good. So like I said, with nails. As a drinker, or I'm drinker.
And a drinker.
He's a drinker, but not a smoker. But as a smoker, I cannot put that much air out to do what he's doing. What's happening is when they hit the target, they have so much velocity that it's tearing the plastic off of them, and they keep going. And we picked up, I think, all of them. We found all of them, but there was one that I heard. It went into his garage. Now that is vinyl siding, but still, it's stuck into the garage. So I need to glue these on so they will work better, but nice. It's better to learn the problems out in the field, right?
I got one more idea.
So I've told a bunch of people a story about when I flew in my '64 Chevy. I told my kids about it. I think I told them the best I could from my vantage point inside the car, where in midair I locked the brakes. But it didn't dawn on me till last night when Ted and I were talking, but he was there the first time I did it. Maybe not the second time, but he was definitely there the first time. And so what can you tell us about that evening?
You got some serious air under that 64 Chevy. It was 63.
64?
64 Chevy, yeah. With daylight under all 4 tires. And lots of sparks when you came down. I liked the landing, liked the sparks, liked the look on your face.
The smell of me afterwards was a little hard to deal with, but
that was the bitch to deal with. But yeah, I can honestly say you are the only person I know to date who can put a 64 Chevrolet in the air, and you did a good job of it.
Now, had you ever seen anybody do any daredevil stuff like that before that, or?
Bear, I haven't seen anybody do a lot of stuff you've done before.
Well, yeah, there is that. But all right, so it's proven. And would he lie to you? He's never lied to you before. I mean, come on. Now you may not be able to see him real clear, but out here we have a robin, which I haven't seen a robin in 3 years because I've been down in Florida, and I see a cardinal, which I have seen those down in like the St. Pete area. And somewhere over here, I thought I saw a woodpecker. Okay, I did see him when I first came out here. Ah, there he is. You can kind of see him flying. There he goes. Flying up there. However, I hope I am on those 2 holes that you can see. Those are the woodpecker holes. So, apparently he has a nest up here. But now he's over in that tree. And of course we have little squirrels. That'll be good eating. Anyway, that's a little nature shot. This is Ted's yard. Later we're going to go back in there. I have a project to fix my blowgun, and he's gonna take a look at the brakes tomorrow, so that'll be cool. So this is Ted's garage. This is Ted's car. This is not just your run-of-the-mill car. As you can see, the tires on the back are a little bit different. Hey, they look like slicks to me. And inside, you can kind of see that it's not really set up like a family car at all. And that's what we have under the hood.
466 cubic inches of pure fun.
And tell me, like, the year and all that stuff this thing is?
The 1966 Ford Ranchero.
Was it the first year or no?
No, that's the last year of the Falcon style.
Oh, okay. And this is his shop. Are these some of your old plates or just
Illinois?
things that you acquired?
Those are all Illinois, except it's not an El Camino. It's a Ranchero.
And then, of course, we have the skydiving thing. Ted's done some skydiving in his life. I would never jump out of a perfectly good airplane, but he did. And support mental health or I'll kill you, of course. And then, like every other shop that has all the tools, it has everything you need. You have to zoom out a little bit on this young lady here. And these couple here. And, yeah. Okay, and then we have tools. Oh yeah, you actually met her?
I met Kim.
Too bad Kim's not coming out a little bit better. There she is. Where'd you meet her?
That's not Kim. This is Kim.
Oh, that's Kim.
That's Kim. I met
That's
Kim.
okay. We'll take a few minutes on the other one too. You met her? Where'd you meet her?
I met her in Columbus, Georgia, at a strip club.
Oh, no kidding.
That's where I got the picture from.
I always thought she'd been like an accountant or something, but anyway. So here's a project I'm going to be working on in a few minutes. I'm basically going to just take all these ends off, put a little dab of crazy glue on there so they all stay in, because apparently I won't ever bother, but if anybody with real wind, like a non-smoker, hits it, then they can rip them apart like that guy did. So for those of you who have never been in a manufacturing environment, a lot of times what they have is they have something like this where it collects the oil, and does it recycle it through there?
That's a parts cleaner.
Okay, but it's a parts
solvent.
cleaner, and you can run, oh that's right, you run solvent through there, and you clean up stuff. They used to have these at some factories that I worked at, and Ted basically made this one.
Instead of paying $140 for a cheap one, I made one for 20 bucks. It's 10 times better.
There you go. And now, after a while, the oil gets in there with the solvent. But you'll have oil in there too, right?
No, just solvent. It eventually will go in there, and it takes a long time because that shit will settle down, and it picks up only solvent. It's off the bottom.
Okay. But it's got the electric pump where it pumps it through, and it comes up through here, and you can wash it off.